My name is Basil Mann. I'm from Shayla Driver Training Academy, and we specialize in hijack management as well as all sorts of driving on all sorts of vehicles and motorcycles. Anybody is a target for hijacking. Obviously they like to go for the fairer ladies, the fairer sex, because usually they're more distracted than their counterparts because they've got children in the car or they've got other things that's on their mind and they're not focusing on their surroundings. So if you're in the wrong place at the wrong time and not aware, you will be able to be hijacked. But they do target the ladies because generally ladies are easier to pull out of a car or to attack. 90% of them don't even carry bullets in their guns, but their biggest weapon is surprise. They catch you unaware and they notice the unaware people. If you just look carefully at any robot or stop street, how many people are on their cell phone? If you're on your cell phone, you're a target because your concentration is on the call you're busy having, not on your surroundings. They're the top selling vehicles, so because the percentage of the number of vehicles that are out there, they get much higher percentage of what's been sold, and that is why they target it. And also they're very reliable vehicles and easy to move for parts. And as you know, parts for Toyota, for BMW and for Volkswagen are pricey, so they work very well in chop shops. So a lot of these vehicles are actually targeted not only for resale but for spares. Not targeting, yes, the vehicle is part of it, but they're targeting the person that is not focusing on their job so that they can see that's an easy target. When a vehicle is ordered by the syndicate, people know what they want. They'll go and scout the car, scout the area, scout the person, see how the person's attitude is towards the way he comes home, towards the way he comes to work, and they become very easy targets to grip hold of and to get hold of their vehicle. Hijackers predominantly do their work on a Friday because it's a weekend ahead. They need money for their beer for the weekend. So it's much easier, and they also know that on a Friday, people have had a hectic week and are tired and are not concentrating as much on the environment as when they are Monday, Tuesday, when they're fresh. To prevent yourself being a target at a shopping centre, the best thing to do is make sure you park in an area where there is close to the security. Make sure that you preferably can reverse park so that you can move out as quick as possible if you're under threat, but also with the security guards nearby, they can assist you if you're not feeling safe. The reason they go to shopping centres is because they notice that particularly ladies, they'll carry their handbag and their luggage and their child under their arms, and then when they get to the car they thought, I didn't have my keys, and now they put the handbag on the bonnet or on the roof and they start scratching. So their concentration is not around the environment they're in, with the result they're easy targets. So we train that any shopping centre, try and be vigilant and park nearest point to where there is security, and if you're not feeling safe, ask the security to walk with you to protect you, especially if it's late in the evening after 5:30, 6, when the majority of the people are gone and you're an easier target, and that's the easiest way to do it. And also when you do get there, make sure that you have a quick walk around your car in case they're lying next to your car or they've put something under the tire or changed your number plate, so that you're aware, and that gets you focusing on being aware of every situation anytime when you're driving. To me, the biggest issue is not to panic and to just give in. The minute you shout or scream or cause a scene, if they've got a weapon that is loaded, the easiest way to keep you quiet is just a quick bullet to your head. Also, remember, a car can be replaced. If you go performing and they try and keep you quiet by using whatever means, whether it's a knife or a gun or whatever, your family's going to miss you. So just say, thank you, here's my car, anything else I can assist you with, and then make sure that you move back from the scene and not create a problem, because as soon as you shout, it creates awareness for other people, and that's what they do not want. And if you are unfortunate enough to be now hijacked, Make sure you don't look at the perpetrator straight in the eyes, because that means you're trying to identify them. Try and look at the belt down to the shoes, because people will change their jacket or their shirt very quickly, but they're not going to change their belt or their pants or their shoes. So in a way of identifying, look at that, and also try and notice which direction they went or go once you've been released, because if you don't do that, that's when they get rough with you. If you do have your children with, they're your number one asset. When we do a practical hijacking demonstration, we'll show you how to look after your child in the car. Make sure that your child always sits behind you and not diagonally to your left or in the front seat if it's a small one, and if there's two, the slightly bigger one can go on the other side, because they can listen to what is required if you ask them to get out the car. The reason you have to do that is to protect your family and yourself. What's important is always to make sure that you stow your handbag in a safe place. Now, a lot of ladies tend to put their handbag underneath their foot, which is a risk. If you have an emergency brake and the handbag slides underneath your brake pedal or your accelerator, you can have a problem. If you put it on the left side and the perpetrator sees it, because they communicate to each other all the time, they'll stand on the bridge and have a look inside the vehicle and say, oh, okay, that Golf over there, the passenger, the driver has left a handbag on the left hand side. They'll take a spark plug, break the window and take your handbag. So that becomes smash and grab, which also can become a hijacking. But if there's nothing there to warrant them wanting to interfere with you, that is why we suggest hide your seat, your phone between either your legs or inside under your arm or wherever you like, so that it's not visible. If there is drama, that you can still phone. Handbags in your boot is the best place, because they're not going to open the boot easily, because generally most cars now when you pull off lock. So just think about the safety features of what can happen if I have my handbag in there. The fright I'll get when they smash the window, they see what I've got, they can then get my handbag and myself. But when the handbag's in the back, if you are going to be hijacked, they'll take whatever you've got anyway. They don't care. So for safety, more for smash and grabs, we suggest put your handbag in your boot. Why do the hijackers approach you when you got to your gate? When we do the training, we suggest scan the area carefully. If there's something suspicious, call your security guard or the police or whoever to say, look, I don't know who these guys are. But most driveways are open enough that you can have a good scan up and down the road. We suggest also that you clean all the bushes, which might look nice with trees and around it. Clean it so you open your gates up. Most people have got electric gates, so the remote will work, but before you just do the remote, also check that it's clear. If you have to stop and you yourself are alone, then yes, get out, keep the keys in your hand, have another look, open the gate and entry. But it's a very difficult situation to handle if you haven't been aware enough. And so it's pointless saying, oh, I've got my keys but I didn't see the perpetrator. Why did I not see the perpetrator? Was my mind on my phone? Because I got out taking my car keys and my phone, and I wasn't aware of what the environment is. So always be sure that you're aware of what's going on around you. Have you already got to your gate? I've heard where people throw their keys and that just annoys the hijacker, but they're not going to take your car. They might beat you up, we don't know. Once again, it's about being vigilant, being observant, watching the area, knowing your area well enough that you can identify something's out of place. No matter where you live, you get into that routine, and when you are doing that, it's also a good idea to approach your house from a different direction every now and again, leave at different times, which in a lot of people's cases these days with the COVID, they're working flexi hours, so that you don't get into a routine. All these problems occur when people are in a routine. They don't just see you and say, okay, I'm going to hijack that person tonight, I want to take that RAV4, whatever it is. They watch you for a few days. Now, in those few days that they're watching you, if you haven't noticed something wrong, why are those guys sitting on the pavement? What are they doing there? It can cause you an issue. On all the signboards, they say if there's an emergency, call 10111 or whatever the toll road number is. So you'd call that. Other than that, have a speed dial on your phone for your own security company if it's in your area. If you're in another area, they always say welcome to Edenvale, for example, and their security company's name is there. They're your contact. So take little notes of that. So if you do feel threatened, you can just quickly call that number and say, hey, I'm in trouble. I'm in this street, and they've got people circulating all the time, and they will be there to assist you. So it's just being proactive in looking around what's going on and noticing emergency contact numbers, noticing the areas you're going to. The reason why we strongly suggest that you do a circle around your cars is so that you are more aware of what is happening in the vicinity of your car. Have they put sharp nails or spikes underneath your tires? Because they'll know if you reverse and you drive a short distance, your tire will go flat. They'll offer to help you and take your car. Have they changed your number plates? Have they tampered with your rear view mirrors? Have they put a sticker on? Have they come up with 1,001 excuses. So if you've done a circle around your vehicle, you know your number plate's in place, everything looks fine, and you get outside the parking lot and they say, oh, here's your number plate, you can say, it's not my number plate, because people say, oh, must have fallen off my car, and this is such a nice guy to give me my number plate. Meantime, he's just a professional hijacker, saying thank you as you open your window, get out, thank you, go away. Now the big problem that we do have is you get the syndicates, and then you get the newbies, the guys that want to become hijackers but have to prove themselves first. They're the most dangerous because they do not understand how to manipulate the clients properly. Bearing in mind, if a car is ordered by a syndicate for hijacking, that car must be in pristine condition. They don't want to have blood on the seat or holes in the doors or windows because of a shootout. So they want to scare you by the element of surprise as big as possible and then make sure you get away from your car. The newbies are the shaky type. You're not sure what they're going to do. They're not sure what they're going to do. So we've got to identify the different type of hijackers by just observing what they look like. And when you're approaching your car, anyway, you've observed all the way around in their vicinity. Now, I walked in my car now, I've looked there, I can go there, but I've also observed, because where we are, that nobody's been near my motor vehicle, but I'll still have a quick look in case I rode over a thorn when I parked or whatever. So it does not endanger. You hear people telling people, you must do a handbrake turn, or you must do this and do that. It's not possible if you haven't practiced it. Those are techniques that you learn by going to skid pads, or you go to an open parking lot and you've got time to practice these things. The only proactive thing you can do is look for the easiest way to get away by either ramming through or reversing as fast as you can, do a turn and disappear. Now you've got smash and grab film on the side of the vehicle, so that's just for smash and grab. Hijack proof is only proof for hijacking is the driver of the vehicle or the driver's occupant. So for example, if you've got a daughter that's 12, 13 years old and she's sitting next to you in the front seat, teach her to be observant. Let her watch what's going on as well as you do. I know for a fact when my daughters were from about 7, 8 years old, after their bad experience of being hijacked with their mother, they're very observant and they sit, especially in town, both looking each side. So you're getting a full picture of what's going on, because you as a driver focus on the traffic light, focus on the pedestrians. Maybe you're not quite seeing the guys that are carrying something abnormal. It's a team order, teamwork. But when you're by yourself, make sure that you do the 360 look arounds all the time. And also, if you're observant and you've left yourself enough of a gap to the vehicle in front, which should be enough room that if you are in an emergency, you can turn your steering half to get out. That means that a hijacker knows that you are vigilant. I have had instances where I've seen and I can see it's suspicious, and if you think it's a suspicious guy and he's walking towards you in a funny type of manner, just point at him and go like that, because that might mean that you've got a weapon, even though you haven't, but he knows you've seen him and he's not sure what you're doing. Generally they'll just disappear because they know they don't want confrontation. Yes, in closing, there is no such thing as a dead hero. Make sure that you are submitting to everything they ask you, because their scare tactic is what they rely on. So all you have to do is make sure that you put your hands up safely. Make sure they're doubled up, so if they do try and shoot, it's got to penetrate 2 hands first. Make sure that you don't do harsh reactions if you're in the vehicle and they've come and there's a weapon to your head by the right hand side. Put your hands up, say to them you want to release your seatbelt, release the seatbelt softly, let it go softly, because if you let it bang they might shoot you because of the noise of the seatbelt hitting the window. Then say, can I turn the car off? If not, you just let the clutch out, or if it's an automatic, say, can I put it in park, and then get out. But try not to be the actual hero, because they catch you when you're not expecting it and there's no real good escape route. You've got yourself into the wrong position at that time.